Here on example 7, we're going to get a little more practice with your graphing calculator, so I hope you have that handy. Here we're going to talk about temperature, and it says during an 8-hour period, the price, which is Y, in dollars, make sure you pay attention to your labels, of a certain company's stock was approximated by this model. Y equals 0.6023 x to the third, blah, 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 you guys can read. Now the important part is 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 8. What does x represent? Great question. Well, oh hey, this is right here, where x represented the hour. So we have an 8-hour period, x represents the hour. You have a domain that has an explicit domain that has been defined for you. So you can't have a negative hour, so that's why we have to start at 0, and it goes all the way up to and includes 8. So with x equals 0 corresponds to 9 a.m. If you're going to go for 8 hours, x equals 8 corresponds to 5 p.m. So think about your day. If we were at x equals 3, that would be 9 plus 3 is 12. Well, if you're at x equals 5, 9 plus 5 is 14, which we don't have a 14 a.m. or p.m., so that's actually 2 p.m. Approximate the maximum and minimum prices of a stock during the 8-hour period. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your graphing calculator, and you go to the y equals, and you type in your equation, and then what we're going to do is we're going to find our maximum and minimum during that time. So if you're on your standard graph, well, this goes from negative 10 all the way to positive 10, and from 0 all the way up to 10. We might want to change our window. So we don't need any of these negative values because this graph is only going up anyway. We can't see any turning points, so you must change your window. So your window, we're going to make our x minimum 0, and the nice part about this problem is it tells us our x max also is going to be 8. So if we look at the graph here, this goes from 0 to 8. We still don't see anything. I love it when the bells go off. So then we need to change our window to our y max and our y min. Let's make our y min 0. And we're talking about dollars that was made during that time. So let's go, I don't know, let's try 100. See what that does to our graph. So let's go to our graph here. Oh, hey, we got a max, we got a min. What a good guess. There's so many times you are just going to have to guess as to what your max and min are. You could change it. You know, I can make the min. 50 is probably somewhere around here. I can maybe make it 80, but for our purposes here, to find a relative maximum and a relative minimum, what we're going to do is we're going to go to second, calculate, and I just had an epiphany. Why was this titled temperature? We're not even going over temperature. Interesting. Maybe it should be titled sales. Alright, anyway, well, let's find our max value first. So your max is 4, and we need to choose a left bound. This is to the right of our maximum, so we need a cursor all the way over. Now the other cool thing is, if this whole distance is from 0 to 8, if you want to find a left bound, I don't know, let's just type in, just hit the 1. And notice how it says your left bound is x equals 1. Well, hopefully that's going to be left of, yes. Notice how that is left of your maximum. So if this is 1, x equals 1 right here, here's x equals 2. Let's choose a right bound. Let's just type in 3. 3 is going to be to the right of it. Yes. So notice your arrows are showing you're going to find a maximum between these two arrows. We're going to hit enter for guess. And we're looking for our y value, which is $57.94. So if we talk about our relative max price, that's going to be $57.94. Now we also need to find our relative minimum price. So let's go through and let's do about the same keystrokes, but we're going to find a minimum now. So our minimum is going to be over here. So when we find a minimum, go to second, calculate, and we're going to hit 3 for minimum. And I don't know, this is about 4, so it's going to be to the left. So I'm going to type in 4. And then my, let's see, here's 4, probably 5, 6. I'm going to choose a 7. And booyah, that's to the right. So it's going to find a relative minimum between these two arrows. Hit enter, and the relative minimum price is $35.30. So hopefully these last couple examples show you why your graphing calculator is actually kind of nice and useful, because otherwise you would have to plug in a whole slew of numbers. In fact, I doubt you would plug in 57.94 or plug in different values for your x's decimal values to find these minimum and maximum values. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I'm going to guess I'm not.